Well, hello everybody. This is Jennifer with DP Addiction Adventures, and welcome to JennTube 102. And I am just so excited about this new little series that I've started with the behind the scenes of inside jokes maybe that you've heard in different lives or videos and you're a new subscriber, or funny things that have happened in my family, and just kind of like the behind the scenes, what's happening in Jen's world, okay? First off, super excited. I have some Color Street on. I'm ready for Valentine's Day. Loving it. Woo, I don't know if it's even in focus because I can't see what you're seeing. But super excited. Right now, go check out Rebecca's channel on Crafting Journeying with Rebecca. She's doing a Color Street party. I know I like to do one every 3 to 4 months, so always feel free to come back and check if you're looking for someone to buy from. I just kind of throw a party. I'm not a consultant, but I'm absolutely in love with them, and so I put them on, and whoo, pretty. Also, just an update, because everybody asks for every video, this is what I'm working on right now, and super excited. When I purchased it, when I first saw Stitcherista do it, I was like, I gotta do that, and then I purchased it, and I'm just in love with it, guys. So in love with this light aqua color instead of 310 or 939. I'm really in love with it. So that's what I'm working on. So caught you up to speed. It's a 45 by 45 centimeter square diamond painting, square drill. I don't know where I got it. Maybe go watch the post review when I'm done with it. Maybe look for it in my unboxings when you see the thumbnail. Maybe this picture's there. I can't remember. I'm sorry. That's not what this video is going to be about, but I just kind of wanted to share. Okay, well, I know some of you are like, I've heard this story a million times, and some of you are like, what the heck, I need to hear this story. I can't help it. Just a second, I'm gonna put a light pad on because there's a glare with my lighting and I can't see. So let's slip this light pad under here, and that's gonna help me see. Okay. So I thought today on JennTube 102 that we could talk about my potato story. And as I was thinking, how should I start out the story? The only thing in my head I kept thinking was off of Golden Girls when Sophia goes, Sicily, 1920, or picture it, Sicily, 1920. And I was like, you know what? Picture it, Grand Rapids, 2007. I was like, I don't know if people would understand what I meant. So anyway, now's a good time to kind of talk about it because it's actually 13 years ago on February 3rd that we found out that we were pregnant with my daughter. She's now 12. And it was Super Bowl Sunday, and we were snowed in. Church had been canceled, and I just wasn't feeling good. And I was just like, you know what? I think I'm going to take a pregnancy test and see. And lo and behold, I was pregnant. And we were so excited because we had just started trying. And, I set up my appointment, went in at what we thought was a certain mark, and it ended up being less than what we thought, but that's okay. QuickBooks helps you get paid. Ooh, sorry about that. All of a sudden my computer came alive. So we, that was in February, and a couple months later, in April, end of March, April, I started feeling really, really sick. Like, I'm like, this can't be normal morning sickness. You know, I know it was my first pregnancy, but I couldn't hold anything whatsoever down. And I was calling the doctor, and the doctor's like, well, try, you know, ginger, and try Unisom, and try this, and try, they were giving me all these like natural home remedies. And I'm like, that's great, but what you don't understand is by this point, I had gone 4 weeks, 4 weeks without one solid meal. And I knew I had been losing weight because none of my clothes were fitting. They were too loose. And I thought you were supposed to like gain weight when you were pregnant. And I went in because when you're that new into the pregnancy, you only go in once a month. And so I went in and I had lost 20 pounds in 1 month. And they're like, oh, you weren't kidding. You are sick. So they put me on this nausea medication as needed. So basically I took it, you know, whenever I was about ready to eat. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I still was really, really sick. That medicine helped a little, but I was living off of Campbell's chicken noodle soup and Wendy's baked potatoes. And that's all I lived off of. And I had to have Sprite. 7-Up was too sweet. I needed to have kind of that little bit of extra zing that was going on. And yeah, so I had this all down pat for like 5 months, people, 5 months. And so I'm now fast forward 7 months pregnant, and this is how I'm living, right? And I'm like, hey, if this is what gets me a healthy baby, then this is what gets me a healthy baby. I can live with this. So, my husband was out for whatever reason, I can't remember, and he had called me and said, hey, babe, do you want me to pick you up anything? And I said, yeah, I'm too tired to make a baked potato. I'm so hungry. And could you grab me a Wendy's baked potato? I said, however, I can't handle mentally just having a plain potato. Can you please ask for the cheddar on it? And I was like, I'll take one of my medications and see if I can hold it down. He's like, sure. So he brings it home. Now I had pregnancy, like, first of let me rewind. I'm on a low dose of anxiety medications, or one medication. And I've been taking that since I graduated from college. But I was not on it while I was pregnant. And because they haven't proven if it's safe for pregnancy. So I had gotten off of it. And so that meant that anything that disrupted, not only was I hormonal because I was pregnant, anything that disrupted my mood made it like 10 times bigger than it should have been. On top of that, I had one of the most stressful jobs, working for one of the most narcissistic, I want to say, bosses. And so I would use up all my happy energy, all my happy juice, all my unanxious thoughts at work. And then I would come home and I would cry and I would sleep and I was anemic. I was a mess. And my poor husband, he deserves like 1,000 gold stars for putting up with me for that way for 9 months. So that's the scene. I'm tired. It's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. I'm starving. I haven't had a solid meal really except for chicken noodle soup and baked potatoes for 5 months. And I wasn't on my anxiety meds, and I'm pregnant and I'm starting to feel really uncomfortable. So I'm sitting in my pajamas in my bed. Okay. Now, people laugh at me, but I'm going to kind of draw what it is, okay? So here's our bedroom, this container, okay? Here's our dining room, okay, this container. And there's a hallway right here. Literally, it's a square, okay? And basically, it has a door. Oops, let me do this differently. That was not smart, people. Do not do this at home. Oh my gosh, what am I thinking? Okay, let me cover this up. All right. So this is our dining room. This is our bedroom. And then there's like a square hallway here that has a door here to the bedroom, a door here to the bathroom, a door here to the bedroom, and then an opening right here into the dining room, living room area, okay? And then here's my bed. So, I know you love this. I'm gonna use my heart wax. I'm sitting in bed. My husband gets home. He's walking through the front door. He comes, you know, through here. He comes in and he hands me this bag from Wendy's. Now, I have super pregnancy smell alert. And before I even open the bag, I have this rut-row, something is wrong, and my stomach just starts, oh, like it's gonna vomit. And I open the bag and I look in, and this aroma comes like woofing up like a volcano of onion scent into my nose. And I about barf right there on the spot. And I was like, what the heck? And what they had done is they had put onions and cheese, like that liquid cheese, on the potato. And I don't like onions. I cook with them. Like I use half onions in my spaghetti so that, you know, it gets the flavor, or I'll drop an onion into the crock pot. It gets the flavor. I'll use onion flakes. But I do not like onions. And these were raw cut up onions. And by not liking them and having like super smell as a pregnant woman, I about lost it. And I grabbed the potato, okay? So imagine this roaring pregnant woman, and I'm sitting here in my bed. I grabbed the potato out of anger and frustration, and I throw it. And it was like just the right, I think it's like 4 inches of width. It goes through our bedroom door, through like the 4-foot, 5-foot hallway, through the opening, and it skims the back of the dog, who like is a 90-pound black lab mixed with Great Dane. She has since passed away. Skims the back of the dog, who goes off and like takes off running and hits like you're chucking an axe the dining room wall. So it's like 15 to 18 feet trajectory, hits the dog and hits the wall. And I just start sobbing. And my husband's in the kitchen over here, and he comes running, and he like runs through the potato cuts and into the bedroom, and he's like, what is wrong? And I'm like, there's onions in my potato. And I'm just like sobbing, and there's like potato, cheese, and butter just like all over the floor. The dog is hiding in a different room. She won't even come out to try to pick up and eat the potato. Okay, so that's where the flying potato came. As a pregnant woman, I was like so angry and so upset that I just chucked this potato as hard as I could. And that's not the end of the story, people. Oh my gosh, you think it would be. You think my husband would console me. You think like, oh, it'd be right with the world. And so I collected myself, okay? And I'm like, nope, I am this, 20-plus-year-old woman. I'm going to have a baby and I need my food. And so I get out of bed and I have the Wendy's bag in my hand. And I get up and I'm angry as a hornet. And I grab the potato, which is like not even a potato anymore. It's like mashed potato. And I chuck it in the bottom of the bag. And I seal up the bag and I throw my coat on and I throw my flip-flops on and I head to the front door, and my husband's just standing there staring at me, and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "We're going to Wendy's." And he looked at me like, "Okay, I either take my wife to Wendy's and not die, or I'm going to be what do you call it? I'm going to be an accessory to like somebody's murder." I mean, I'm sure I look like a crazed woman in her PJs with flip-flops, 7 months pregnant, my tummy sticking out of my jacket. And so we went to Wendy's, and the whole time he's just because I'm like, how can they not get all you asked for with a 99-cent potato with cheese added? And where did they get the idea of the... And I'm just, oh my gosh, I can't imagine what he was thinking. I'm surprised he's married to me. I'm so embarrassed. I don't know why I'm telling this story for YouTube and the world to hear, but it's already out there in the public. So we get to Wendy's, and I go inside, and again, this is like 10:30 at night by this point, and I'm standing there and standing there and standing there and standing there, and nobody is waiting on me. And so I'm just getting more furious and more furious, and finally I'm like, "Excuse me, does anybody see me?" They're like, "Oh, I thought you were already waited on." I was like, "Really?" And I take this bag, okay? So this is like cheese gut potato. It's soaking through the bottom of the bag. And I slam it on the counter. And I was like, "I need to see the manager." And so this manager comes, and he's probably late 30s-ish. And he comes and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Can't you guys make a freaking potato? I'm a pregnant woman and da-da-da-da-da." And he's like, "Ma'am, what did you have?" I was like, "I had a regular potato with cheese." And so he made that potato as fast as he could, handed it to me, and said, "Have a good night." And I was just like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." Yeah. So anyway, that is my potato story. I ended up going home and eating the potato, and thank the Lord did not throw it up. I think I was so angry I had the willpower to not throw up, period. But oh my goodness, that was crazy. And then after a couple weeks later, it's like a light switch happened, and I no longer was sick. And so for the last month of my pregnancy, I ate everything in sight because I had not eaten in 6 or 7 months. And oh my gosh, I loved the chocolate Oreos with the chocolate middle. I couldn't get enough Papa John's pizza, peanut butter, everything peanut butter. I would put peanut butter on everything. I would buy carrots and apples just so I could cut them up and stick them in peanut butter so I could eat peanut butter. It was crazy. But yeah, so note to self, like now my husband is always checking the bag to make sure my meal is made right. And sometimes it's not, and we have to go back in, but at least I'm not throwing potatoes at people. I've calmed down. I'm back on my anxiety meds. I'm not pregnant with hormones anymore. But my husband's like, "Goodness, I don't know what's going to happen if and when you go through menopause." And I'm like, let's not think about that. We still have many years before that happens. Hopefully, knock on wood. So for those of you who want to know why I talk about the flying potato every now and then in my videos, or if I put up an emoji about a potato, that is why. Because, yeah, so anytime I'm frustrated, I think of a flying potato. And I think of that poor dog who, for the rest of her life, hated the smell of potatoes. And I just skimmed her back. She didn't get hit like a softball with the potato. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this crazy story. I hope you enjoyed, you know, on my expense, just kind of what ordinary life is and what's behind the scenes when you're driving down the road and what's happening in people's houses that you don't know behind the door. That's what's happening in ours. So thank you so much, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If stay tuned for more JennTube episodes. I hope to have them weekly for you. I love you all so much. If you're not a subscriber and would love to subscribe, please hit the button down below. And until next time, guys, be blessed. Bye-bye.